All right, what else is going on? As you should go out and support your national parks and the conservation movement.
Yes,
Listen,
absolutely.
wild animals are beautiful and they should be respected in the wild.
They should.
But at the same time, I don't know. This is probably going to be controversial, but I like zoos and parks where you can be educated about that kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
I like it. So.
I think it brings awareness.
Absolutely.
You know?
I always tell my kids that when we're outside and there's, bees or crazy birds or whatever, and then you kind of get a little bit afraid of it. It's like we have to remember that outside, it's their home.
That is correct.
Yes.
And so, at the same time, I enjoyed Tiger King.
Oh my God!
I'm kidding.
This show is crazy.
It was a train wreck. All right, moving on. Let's move on. What else?
National Macadamia Nut Day.
I don't know what it is about the generalization of the nuts industry, but they are on it. Because we had, remember, grab a sack of nuts day, or whatever it was, grab some nuts day. There's been cashew day and all kinds of stuff. Now we've got macadamia nut day.
And
I don't know anybody else. Does anybody eat macadamia nuts
just
outside?
By themselves?
Like maybe in Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
They usually sell them chocolate covered.
I was going to say chocolate covered.
Garlic or sour cream
honey
and onion. Honey roasted.
Yeah.
But for me.
You're making me kind of hungry.
Yeah, right.
I know.
For me, macadamia nuts will always be Subway's cookies.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Subway cookies are the ones. So happy Macadamia Nut Day. What else?
You're gonna laugh at this. National Lazy Moms Day.
Okay.
And it's actually saying that moms should be able to have a lazy day.
They should. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. They should have a day where they just get to lay around and not do anything.
Right. Absolutely. And have the kids, do the laundry and the dishes and take the trash out. I mean, I'm not saying that the moms
I don't think kids should be doing laundry. It'll all come out
older
5
kids.
sizes too small.
And pink.
Pink, yeah.
Well, they could at least
Stuff
throw
like that,
it in the washer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought Mother's Day was Lazy Mom Day.
I mean,
gosh.
moms want to dress up their kids and dress up themselves. You can't really be lazy on Mom's Day.
That's true.
All right.
Mother's Day.
Moving on. What else?
Moving on. National College Colors Day. So.
Well, I wish I would have known that.
I know.
Because I'm wearing the wrong color.
You are.
I'm wearing the rival's color.
You are.
This is Louisville's colors, and I should be wearing blue and white.
But isn't Cincinnati? Oh, well.
That's not a college.
That's not a college. Sorry.
There is a University of Cincinnati, and they are black and red, but no.
No.
Dang it.
But you'll have to change.
Should be wearing blue and white today.
Exactly. Blue and white. You'll have to change.
All right.
I am wearing blue, but it's not the right blue.
Go big blue.
Yeah. So, and the National Food Bank Day.
Important.
Very important.
Cool.
I would say I could read what they have, to how to observe it, but I'd say donate to your National Food Bank.
I was going to say,
food bank.
Wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening to us from, why don't you just make it a point? Today's the day to do it. It's National Food Bank Day.
Yes.
Grab something, some canned foods or whatever. Take it to your.
Take them to a food bank.
Or if you say, I can't get out there and do it, get online. Google will tell you anything.
Yes.
Find out where the local one is and make a donation.
Exactly.
Today.
Or even at your own church. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we have one at Direction Church.
Yeah, we do.
We have a little pantry that we
sure
keep
do.
in there for have helped people when the time is the crunch is happening. So.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's talk about something else as we move along. I know that Luke sent us a very interesting article, and it's kind of a buzz topic right now. A lot of folks talking about the Mandela effect. Have you heard of the Mandela effect? If you have, drop in the comments below and give us your best example of the Mandela effect. If some of you are thinking, what in the world is it? So,
I've heard a theory that it's like parallel universes type of thing. Like, it happened in a parallel universe, and it like bled over into here. So what it is, it's that you remember something a certain way, or a large majority of people remember something a certain way, but it turns out that it was actually slightly different.
Give us an example of that.
So an example is that, like Looney Tunes, right?
Well, wait a minute. What? Give the example of why is it called the Mandela effect?
Okay, so it's called the Mandela effect because there's a lot of people that remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison.
Right.
And
That is correct. That's what most people think.
Yeah, a lot of people think that Mandela died, but the thing is he's alive.
Well, actually, I think he is dead now.
Now, but he was alive. He lived
And
a full life.
And he became the president of South Africa.
Yes.
So, but most people say, no, I remember him dying in jail.
Yeah.
I know that he died in jail.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the answer to that is wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong.
It's wrong. Nelson Mandela became the president of South Africa. He was released. It was a big deal. A lot of people remember that. And he became a very big, even larger voice to the civil rights movement and equal rights around the world after that. And so, anyway, because people do remember him dying in jail, now there are other things that people remember incorrectly.
Right.
Yeah, so
they named it after him.
One of them is like the way Looney Tunes is spelled.
It's Looney or My.
Yeah, but a lot of people think it's Toons.
Yeah, right? Isn't it?
No, it's Tunes.
Yeah.
See?
That's not true.
Yeah, it's
Looney
Looney
Tunes.
Tunes.
It's not like cartoons, Toones, but tunes like music,
Yeah,
Tune.
Looney Tunes, like Tunes.
But they don't sing.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah, they do.
It's not a.
It's not.
It's
they
not a
don't primarily
musical.
sing. No.
Strange, right? Like here's another good one. Curious George
Oh boy.
didn't have a tail.
Yeah, that's true. I
Yeah.
remember that.
Right.
Yeah, because Peyton loved Looney
Curious,
Tunes.
yeah, no,
Curious
he didn't
George.
like that. Yeah,
So-
he did.
Or the Monopoly Man. A lot of people think he's got like a monocle, right?
Yeah.
No monocle.
Now, hold on a minute. I remember Ace Ventura specifically making fun of the guy because of the monocle
See?
and saying, "I'm the Monopoly guy." You know, that's not true.
Yeah, so there was no monocle originally.
Wow.
So yeah, the
Interesting.
Mandela effect. It's
It's very popular. I did see that there's a movie out right now that's like one of those instant Amazon type movies where it's called the Mandela effect, and what it is a way that they have covered up things that they don't want people to.
okay.
That it actually did happen that way, but
Yeah.
then shadow governments, shadow governments have covered up what really happened. So there it is. So wow. So our second question to you down below. Hit us up in the comments right now and tell us what is something that you remember that the Mandela effect has told you is otherwise.
Right.
So drop your favorite example below. All right.
Yeah.
Today we're going to continue on part 2 with our special guest, Tina Konkin, our relationship expert, and she's going to be sharing and continuing on with her show today, or with her interview and her information today, which has been life-changing so far. We hope that you're getting a lot out of it. So let's get to part 2 of our interview with relationship expert from Relationship Lifeline, Tina Konkin. We left off talking with her about how that really when the infidelity happened with her husband, it wasn't just about restoring trust, because the trust had to be placed in the Lord and God, and she just needed to start loving again. And she was telling us some really good wisdom about safety and how that began to apply. So Tina, as that started to apply to your marriage, we were talking about safety and safe environment. Where did it go from there?
Well, that's where we kind of developed, which now we do at Relationship Lifeline, a way to rebuild. Okay, and so we called it the R3, and now it's a 6-week program. It's also an intensive 3-day program, but we knew our relationship needed to get safe again, and that in order to create safety, what were the steps we were going to have to take so this would not repeat itself? Mm-hmm. Anything that you don't resolve, Brent, I think you know this as a pastor, anything we don't resolve comes back to haunt us, comes back up, and so it's one thing to say, I want to make a decision to be healthy, but then if you don't eat right, if you're trying to get physically healthy, how's that going to happen? And so we looked at it from a relationship part, and we developed this R3. And the R3 is basically, the R1 is to reveal. That's the hardest part. We had to go into our hearts. What does reveal mean? Well, we looked at scripture, and in Matthew 19:8, Jesus is asked a question by the Pharisees. That's never a good thing, but we always know his answers are great. But he was, they were trying to trip him up, and they said, listen, do you believe in divorce? And I want to talk about divorce because based on what Jesus's answer is, there's not necessarily anything wrong with divorce. But look at what he answered, because they asked him, do you believe in divorce like Moses did? And his answer was this. His answer was, Moses allowed, so it was allowed, okay, it was in the law, a man could divorce his wife, not the other way around, but interesting, but a man could divorce his wife because, and he puts the because in there. Anytime there's a because, like I'm always, when people, don't know how to answer a question, I always use the word because, and you guys probably saw me do it several times over the weekend. And because he said, because, so Moses allowed divorce because of the hardness of the heart. And we started thinking about that. We thought, because of the hardness of the heart. I thought it was because of adultery, right? Because that's what I'd been told by a pastor.
Yeah.
You got a way out here, you've got adultery, and instead of helping us reconcile, they right away brought out the adultery card, so get out of jail free card. And I thought, but we want to restore somehow, and we realized Christ's answer was because of the hardness of the heart. I said, what is that? And then he adds in there, it wasn't so in the beginning. So what wasn't so in the beginning? Well, probably divorce. But the other thing that wasn't so in the beginning, we were never created for the hardness of the heart.
Oh my gosh,
I know,
that's so good.
Isn't that good? I know we both are friends with Dr. Caroline Leaf, and she goes into the neurology of that, into the brain work of that. We weren't created to have these toxic emotions and toxic thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's the hardness of the heart. And because our heart wasn't created to have that, it hardens. And so that's where the adultery comes up too. He's saying most people don't know how to get past the hardness of the heart in adultery. They don't know how to rebuild from there. They can't get rid of the image. And so that's where the renewing of the mind comes in. Jesus gives us what was in the beginning. So if we can just get back to the beginning, and that is what the heart was created for. What was the heart created for? It was created for love. Remember, that's what Jesus, right? That's what I heard in that parking lot, right? Your responsibility is to love. I gave you a heart that knows how to love, not a heart that knows how to trust, because human beings are fallible. We're not created to trust. Our heart is deceitful, but we are created to love. Now, and so that was the part.
I mean, that's just a huge landmine of truth right there that I think that people need to learn to step on. And by the way, this is Tina Konkin. She's the director and founder of Relationship Lifeline in Southern California. And she's our guest for these our last show and the show after this one. And she's just really revealing a couple things, which happens to be what she's talking about. The revealing part. The part that I think is so hard for people is, how do you separate love and truth, or love and trust? From because some people are like, well, I can't love them because I don't trust them, and they don't know the difference.
And they don't know the difference, and that's where I had to dig deep. It sounded really good when that preacher said it: trust God, love people. And I said, okay, God, I had to go with what I could do. Okay, I can trust you with my life. I can trust you with my family. I can trust you with my future. I don't know what my future holds, but I know I can trust you with it. You're faithful. So it had to start with that. And then it had to also start with, and this is where the love came in. It had to start with me looking at me. Okay. And in that was the reveal. I had to reveal what I brought to our marriage that led us up to this point. So in other words, not the affair itself or the first 2 weeks of the affair where all this reveal was happening. I had to go back 5 years, 10 years, 1 year. What hardness of heart developed? Then when I got through that, which God was so faithful, he revealed. I said, you revealed to me the hardness of my heart, because I'm honestly having a hard time with this, because I thought the hardness of the heart was like, I should feel guilty that I didn't get him a coffee, or, that I snapped at him. And none of that was what God revealed. God really revealed that I had shut down my heart as a little girl because of fear of loss. So Ron never had my full heart, not from day one, because a vow was made when I was very young that I would never love like that again, because people leave and people die. And I'd had people leave and I'd had people die that I really loved. And I had a man that I really loved die at the age of 25. I was 22, and that was before I met Ron. So those are the things that God wanted to show had hardened my heart. Guilt, shame had hardened my heart, And when I began to see those things, that was the part of the reveal that the Holy Spirit took us both through, and his vulnerability and the things that he had brought into the marriage. Those were the things. And, when it comes to divorce, really, I don't say divorce is the wrong decision. This is what I tell my clients. And as you know, Brent and Jody, you've both been in that class, and you saw that most of the marriages around you were already done. They were there either to bring closure or for the kids to co-parent. I mean, they were mostly done. And many of them were separated. And why did many of them, move on to get back together? Some didn't. But will always tell you that it was one of the healthiest things they did. Because I believe that as each person does what Jesus said, and that is look at the hardness of the heart, and they deal with that, then they make decisions from a healthy place. So two healthy individuals making a decision. And if divorce is still the decision that comes from a healthy place, not resentment, not anger, not rejection, not abandonment, not shame, not I'm not good enough for you, you deserve better, all those, all that rhetoric that happens, then we can begin that R2, which is the rewrite. We need to rewrite our story from a healthy place.
Now, I know that that some of the criticism you took over the book was that you were telling your side of the story, but almost everybody took that as like Ron got off without having to do that. Like, oh, he didn't have to reveal anything, and you're just taking yourself as a doormat, like an abusive situation and stuff like that. But really, in order for this to work and move on, both of you have to do that, right? It's for both folks to reveal things.
And we both did, even though he never demanded it. He never asked for it. He never said, look what you did, nothing like that. What I was criticized for is because they said the exact words that were used was, you are shaming the victim. Okay, well, right there, that would trigger me, because I don't believe that any adult, I don't care what has been done to you, ever. If you are an adult, you are not a victim. You might be a victim of a drunk driver in that moment, but now life goes on. What are you going to do with it? If you've survived that, you have to decide, am I going to live a victim to that 5-minute accident, even though now I've got a messed up back, even though now maybe I can't drive anymore? Whatever it is, you're left with the decision. And I believe only children are powerless because they don't have the power of decision. And so I don't believe I was a victim because I was an adult. I had to decide how I was going to live a healthy life post-affair.
Yeah.
All right. So what they accused me of was victim shaming, and I wasn't victim shaming at all.
But the point still stands is that Ron did. It wasn't like, oh, yes, you go and figure that out over there. I'm innocent. No, it takes both. I know when Jody and I went through, there were times when we sat and I can tell you the exercises that they do there are incredible. But when we went through, there was one that stumped me. I to this day don't know why. I'm still always trying to figure that out. Believe it or not, that comes up a lot in my own thinking of why did I respond the way that I did. And there are what?
We are programmed from what we saw, heard, and experienced, which is why the reveal is so important. It's like you said, you get stumped.
Yeah. And so that's the point that I was trying to get to, is that this is not just one. If your marriage is truly going to work out, then you both have to go and discover the things about yourselves that are in there that you don't even know are there. And I know some people kind of go, well, what's the point of knowing about it? Well, that's what's causing you to stumble and have these problems to begin with. Tina, this is such great stuff. And as we start to move into the rewriting, we've just got 2 minutes, but I want to set up the next show to talk about the rewriting process. Is that we can reframe what happened to us to be something we can build from.
Yes, you can't change the past, but you can rewrite how you feel about it. Compassion changes your perspective. I had to have compassion for my marriage, for me, for my husband, for our family. I had to go there with compassion, or I wouldn't have been able to forgive. And of course, the R3 is to renew. And I love that, because that's making it better than ever was.
Well, and that's where we're going to have to pick up for the next program, because one of the most powerful things for me in that was the renewing and the forgiveness part. That was such a powerful thing. We're going to get to that in the next program. This is Tina Konkin. She is a great friend of the show, a great friend of the program, a great friend of Jody and I. She's been a valuable resource for us more than a couple of times. And we are in the process of having her on for 3 straight shows of absolute direction, where she's really pouring into us ways in order to rebuild our marriages. There's the information on the screen. It's tinakonkin.com. She's also on Facebook and Twitter at Tina Konkin, on Instagram at Relationship Lifeline, and she has a YouTube channel where it's just Tina Konkin. You can look her up there. All right, as you can tell, man, there is so much great stuff there with Tina Konkin, and I hope that if you are looking to enrich your marriage, to fix your marriage, get to a healthy place in your relationships, that this information is helping you. If you want to continue on with us Monday on Labor Day, I know it's Labor Day and a lot of folks will be laying around, but we will be here on the show on Monday to wrap up our Absolute Direction series with Tina Konkin, and she's going to be really dropping some more knowledge on how to enrich your marriages. Until then, I hope that you found what you're looking for today, that you expanded your search and stopped for directions. Have a great day, everybody.
You are the light that leads my way, and I'm drawing closer to you every single day. Your life is love, I'll never be alone, 'cause you bought me with the price, called me your own. You are the strength that I need, you are the one that I see, and I will never forget the price that you have paid. Love and life you gave to me. You are my God, the one and only, and I'll follow you for all my days. With all I have, all I am, and all I do, I live for you. You are the light that leads my way, and I'm drawing closer to you every single day. Your love is life, I'll never be alone, 'cause you bought me with the price, called me your own. You are the strength that I need, you are the one that I see, price that you have paid. Your love is